know how many of you fought as a child? Me, I fought. I used to be a lady and a young girl that was very disrespectful. I said one day I was so angry that I went into the kitchen and I just did the plates like this, and the plates all broke. As soon as he came back, as the door was opening, my mouth was opening. Only God knows what I said. I cannot remember the things I said. The only way I understood and knew that there was a problem was that I just saw a man crying. My husband used to be very loving, used to be very, everywhere. He will go out, he will talk about me, he will do this, he will do. After a while, when I kept doing all these little different things I called small, at some point, he just started changing. Not that he was doing anything bad to me, but when someone just begins to withdraw. One thing I noticed was that he started to withdraw. So he will rarely say a word to me except it is necessary. And most times when you ask him, he will say it's because...
Hello guys, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, based on where you're watching from. So guys, how are you doing? Welcome to my channel. If you are new to this channel, my name is Trish, a Nigerian living in Germany. So guys, in this video, I will be reacting to a very powerful message shared by Pastor Jerry Eze's wife. This is not gossip, this is not criticism, and not a drama. This is a real life, real marriage, and real lesson that many people need to hear. As I listened to this message, I felt deeply moved because it speaks about anger, upbringing, emotional wounds, parenting, marriage struggles, and the courage to change. I will play the video and then share my thoughts and reflection. Please watch with an open heart. Please, if you have not subscribed to this channel, like, comment, and share this video. Okay, so guys, let's watch the video.
I wrote a book and I think it's been a while, 2017, and I told my story. I'm currently 17 years in marriage, but I've been with my husband, or I've known him for the past, add 5 to 17 is what? 22. So 22 years. So I got to know him 22 years ago. That should have been in 2002. That was when I met him and we started this journey. Before I met my husband when I was 19 years old. And before I met him, I used to pray for marriage. I started praying for marriage when I was about 16 years old. I started praying early for marriage, and I started doing that when I was 16 years old. I did that because of the family I grew up in. I grew up in a home, my parents loved themselves. They loved themselves. And but I saw a pattern that started to affect me without me knowing. My parents knew how to quarrel. They didn't quarrel in the secret, they quarreled in the open. They had their arguments in front of us, and they even were physical in front of us. And as a child, I saw myself and my elder brother trying to separate my parents from fighting. And imagine a child doing that. We're crying, you'll be crying. You'll be crying, mommy, daddy, stop, daddy, leave mommy, like that. And I'm sure my parents, in the innocence of their hearts or naivety, probably they didn't even understand the impact on us, the children. So this was how I grew up, and I continued to grow up like that till I met my husband at age 19. So why am I mentioning this? I'm saying this for every parent here or parent to be. You are a model. Be careful what you model around your children. Your children, it is English people that says the apple does not fall where? It does not fall far from the tree. So whoever you are, just know that you are mirroring the image of what you want your son or your daughter to become. If you are not proud of who you are before them, then stop doing that thing, because your children will likely become who you are. I have discovered that for me to even want to get married, those of us, if you are here, that grew up in such an environment, is either most times you don't want to marry. You make up your mind that you won't marry because of what you have seen. Some of us grew up and we hate men. Some of us just grew up, or whether it's the men hating women, I don't know, but we just grew up and we don't want to marry. But for some strange reason, God knowing where he was taking me, for me, he made me want to marry. And please understand that if you grow up in such an environment, if your child becomes you, replicates you in the future, it's likely that they will not be able to stay in their marriage like you and your husband or wife stayed. And likely the next thing that will happen is that there will be a divorce. There will be a separation. Why? Because the children that you are raising are scarred. You are raising scarred children that will get into the society and scar other people. So we must be careful what we are modeling. My parents didn't know better, I believe. But today, as you are listening to me, you know better. If you're not married, you are hearing me before you get married. If you're already married, please don't ever have, even if you say it's just a little argument, don't ever have such things in front of your children. Let them not see that. Learn to have your discussions where eyes can see, and don't be raising voice. You know why? Because when I got married to my husband, the way I understood to have conversation is to raise voice. So imagine me raising voice when I'm talking to him. He said, you're shouting your voice. I said, me shout. I'm not shouting. Why are you raising your voice? I said, me raise my voice. I'm not raising my voice. We've not started anything yet now. Why are you complaining? Because I know when it becomes heated, this is, we're just starting and you're complaining. And unfortunately for my husband, he came from a peaceful home. You know what a peaceful home looks like? I don't know, what will you call my own kind of home? You can call it anything you want to call, but he came from a peaceful home. So imagine the two of us having a conversation and he's just talking. And if you know my husband, very gentleman and quiet man, then me, I'm like, why you say I'm shouting? We have not even started hitting ourselves. You are complaining. This is normal conversation. So this thing started to eat into our marriage, and I didn't even know it was a problem. Unfortunately, some of us, the problems we're having in marriage, we don't even know that they are. We think it's nothing, it's normal, because that was how we were raised. For me, my environment shaped me, my family shaped me. But please, I want to speak to everybody. You can change and you can be anything you choose to be. Don't blame your weakness, don't blame your inadequacies on your father, on your mother, on your environment. The moment you keep doing that, or the more you keep doing that, you will never change. But when you begin to own up to your own mistakes and tell yourself that my father is my father, my mother is my mother, I'm not them, I am different, I am unique, so I cannot blame them if I don't turn out right. Let me even tell you a little bit about my background. I don't know how many of you fought as a child. Me, I fought. Who fought? If you see me fighting, girl, I used to fight boys in primary school. I used to pride in being able to beat guys, boys. And I will have my long nails and I will scratch them. And in my mind, I have gotten a trophy. Do you know what made me stop fighting? I always fought because I used to win. But in SS1, there was one girl. I think she had been watching me since I entered that secondary school. And she was just saying, the day Enwene will enter my side, I will show her. Because the way she beat me, she didn't beat me like it was just normal fight. She beat me like she has been preparing for that day to come. And God used her to reset my brain and tell me that, you see this fighting, it will take you nowhere, just leave that one. So that was the last time I ever fought. I did not stop fighting because God told me not, because they beat me well. The beating I received told me, leave this one for those that can do. If you are a fighter here, stop fighting. Stop validating your weaknesses. I always validated my weaknesses. I will say, after all, this is how I grew up. And do you know what? I used to argue. I love to argue. Oh, you cannot win me in an argument. I used to argue pointless. What can I call it? Pointless arguments. As in pointless in the sense that, you see, once I take a stand on something, there's nothing you will say that will change my mind. Talk today till tomorrow, I'm still where I am. And unfortunately, I had people that made me think what I was doing was right. So, even to when I was married, because this my whether you call it lifestyle, personality, attitude, I took it into marriage. So even while I was married, I can remember my boss in human resource tell me that they don't mind sponsoring me to go and read law. They were, because in their mind, I like to do what? Argue. But if I think of all the things I used to argue, it was useless and senseless. Because if I was that good, I used to tell myself that in secondary school I should have joined debate. Maybe I should have joined debate club. I never went there because they used to use intelligence to argue. Because my own was not intelligent argument, I didn't near that place. At least if you think that it is a skill, go to the place you can use it. But I will be talking off point, and I will stay in my off point. I said something in my book. I said the things that destroy marriages today is not even those things we used to think before. You'll be thinking fornication, that is adultery, that is little things we call, those things we call little foxes, anger, for unforgiveness, malice, bitterness. I am telling you, these are the things destroying homes today. Imagine if my husband walked out of my marriage because of the things I was doing. Then today I will not be standing here to be, even if I'm standing here it won't be to give this testimony. Your loved ones are not the ones to suffer the worst of you. Your loved ones shouldn't be the ones that will have to deal with the worst version of you. Please, what is wrong, no matter who is validating it. Even if the society is validating you. Remember I said that I had two offers, two different people that offered to sponsor me to read law. But that they are sponsoring me to read law. And I know that in my home, that the person I'm married to, he can't even be himself around me. Is that the reason why I will continue doing it? Because I know those were the excuses I used to give. I even told him at times, but even people want to sponsor me to read law. That means that this thing, there's something good in this thing. Don't validate weaknesses. Don't allow society validate your weaknesses. What is wrong is wrong. I pray for your marriage, it will not fail. I pray for that relationship, it will not fail. You know one thing my husband tried to teach me, he told me, learn to get people to do an appraisal of you to you. If you can meet people that are close to you, tell them, self-appraise me, examine me, tell me about me. Some of them won't be able to tell because they will be too afraid. Because if they say it the way it is, you may slap them. But if you can get them to that place and tell them, you know what, I will not be upset. Tell me who I am. Some of us will be shocked at what people will write. Tell them to write it and give it to you, or tell you. You'll be shocked how people, most times we move with who we think we are. How do people perceive you? What is the testimony of others about you? Truthful, as in truthfully, if they are going to tell the truth. I used to be a lady and a young girl that was very disrespectful. I don't know. I honor my husband so much. Right now, if you see me, you will never know that I'm still the same person. But I used to be very disrespectful. Let me give you an example of what disrespect looked to me, as in what the kind of things I could do. Okay, I don't know if I mentioned that I was a very angry person. Oh my God, when I am angry, you can't stay in the same place. The same way I smile, and I can smile. If I switch, angry people know how to smile, I think. If you see me on a good day and you see me on a bad day, you will not believe it's the same person you saw on the good day. I could get very angry. Very angry. These are the kind of things I do. I did when I was angry. Even some of them I can't even remember. It's my husband that used to remind me. I said the kind of things I used to do. One of them my husband told me I did not know. I couldn't remember. He said one day I was so angry that I went into the kitchen and I just did the plates like this. And the place all broke. Till today I'm still saying it's not true. I still believe it wasn't me. I can't remember the day I did it. So, but since he said I did it, I want to believe him that he knows what he's saying. Because who knows what was doing my head that day. So I do not know when I broke plates. Our first week in marriage, honeymoon. We didn't even do honeymoon. Do you know that after I got married, like Jesus, this work we started is not today we started it. After we got married, Saturday, Sunday is Thanksgiving. My husband had outreach on Sunday at the NYSC camp. So that's where we went to go and do our honeymoon or our Thanksgiving. We went to NYC camp and we're doing ministration. There's this program he used to do. So we were there. Then that week he had to go to work. I think then he was with World Bank. I think it was World Bank at the time. So we had to go to Abuja for work. And he left me in the hotel. He would leave me in the hotel. I was not working now with him. So he went to work. And that day he did not call me. He didn't call me on the phone. And he did not tell me how we eat as he left me in the hotel. Just left me hotel and went to work and did not come back till evening. Hey, that day, I don't even know if I did anything. Maybe I will sit on this side. So time is going like, After I have thought about everything he has done to me and how he left me, someone you just married, this is just the first week. As soon as he came back, as the door was opening, my mouth was opening. Door open, I started. Only God knows what I said. I cannot remember the things I said. I was ranting. I was upset. You know, all of us women that feel we need attention. You are not giving me attention. How can you leave me? Finish all the talk. The only way I understood and knew that there was a problem was that I just saw a man crying. My husband started crying. Then in my mind I say, hey, what have I said? Oh, I've said the one should not stay. You know, you start retracing, you start going back, say, whoa. But we are not fighting. Why is he crying? I'm just talking. Remember where I'm coming from. It's until it's a fight, that's when it's a problem. This is just talk. All you need to do is answer me back, and that is it. Why won't you just answer me? Instead, you are crying. He started crying. These were the kinds of things I did to my husband. I brought him to the place of tears. He would just start crying. Then something will reset in my brain and tell me, you have gone too far. Then I will start saying sorry. Or is it when we are talking and the conversation is not going in the direction I want, I will stand up, walk out, bang the door at him. And I say, talk to yourself. Anything you want to do, do. At that point in time, I've given myself a posture. Anything that wants to happen, let it happen. If this marriage wants to end, let it end. Devil is a bastard. Imagine me at that time saying, if this man want to end, who will be enjoying this life that I'm enjoying? Hey, Jesus. Oh. Please help me say, devil, you are a bastard. Then his report would have been he was married, but you know. The devil saw my future, saw what God was designing, saw what God wanted to do, saw that I was a terror to the kingdom of darkness, and tried to use me to destroy me. If anything had happened to me, it would have been me that did it to myself. It's not from my village. If anything would have happened to my marriage, I would have been the one that used my own hands to destroy. A wise woman builds her home. A foolish one tears it with her hands. I have seen the worst of my husband and have seen the best of my husband. I have seen the worst of my husband when I didn't submit to him. Because of my disrespectful behavior, my husband needed to show me that he's the man. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. There is a way you will behave. A man wants to show you that he's the man. I am the man of this house. So you cannot use your shout to silence my voice. I am the man, I must be heard. So the man that was quiet began to shout. That was what I ended up doing to my husband. The quiet man, you know, even, hey, God have mercy. You see why I'm taking time to say this is because by the time you finish doing all these things and you now see that your marriage or your relationship is going down the drain, that's when we now start wanting to come around and fix things. And most times it's as if it's almost too late. So I see this man that is quiet, and anytime I speak, he's now raising his own voice. And I'm like, he's not even a... What? So in my mind, like, why are you now looking like this? Where is this one coming from? I have made him become what I am. Because he's just trying to say, I am the man. And nobody is taking this place with me. You know, men have ego. Every man looking at every man here, no matter how quiet they are, they want to be heard as the man. And I give it to them. They deserve it. And I believe that when you want to see the best of a man, when a man has a wife that submits to him, honors him, you will see the best of a man. That's if it's, as in any correct man, that the devil is not doing scroll with his brain. If it doesn't happen in your case, then know that devil is involved in this matter. But every man that lives by the word of God and the principles of God and loves God, the moment a woman submits to him, you will see the side of a man that you have never seen before. Love will flow naturally. It will flow. And that's why I say I have seen these two sides. The time I was doing my gragra, he was showing me gragra. My husband never raised his hand at me. Never. He was never even tempted. It's not like you talk and his hand will do like this. Never. I think the best he could do is that one. He would just cry and cry. And every time he's crying, God will be punishing me. I just think he's just heaping coals of fire on my head. Because as you see a man of God like this, and God will just, this lady, if I don't deal with you like this, then maybe he, as his guy say, God have mercy on her. Have mercy on her. That's the only way God saved me or spared me. This is on a lighter note, but it's very true. So for me, what I did in my journey with my husband was that I had to start asking him, please, what does respect mean to you? Because every time he'll tell me you're not respecting me, you're not. And see the one I used to do. I don't know if you can see me from where. I used to do, there's this thing they used to do with nose. My husband hated that thing, Jesus. But it was the way we grew up as children. Someone just said, So my nose would just go up without me even knowing that it has gone. It's when it has finished going on, I realized it has gone. Say, you see that thing you're doing? See that? I just did. It's just my nose. It's just my nose. I don't want nose. There is something my husband used to say, and I believe it strongly. It is not everything that you must argue, talk about, quarrel about. It is something he usually will say. If it is not destiny related, forget it. What does it mean by destiny related? If this thing me and you are doing is not going to stop us from making heaven, it's not something that will affect our heaven, going to heaven, then there are things you should learn to overlook. Our problem in our marriages, in our relationships today is that we don't overlook things anymore. Everything must be talked about. They say don't throw anything under the carpet. Say like some things should go under the carpet. It's not okay. Don't put it under the carpet. Sweep it away. Sweep it out of the house. If you don't want it under the carpet, so that when you raise your carpet, you won't see it. Just sweep it out. Forget it. Do you know that when I was on this journey of change, when God began to speak to me about my marriage, do you know one of the things he said to me categorically? Whenever I started doing something, my husband would tell me, if you are upset with me, instead of getting all, angry and reacting, I hear the voice of God. Go and tell God. Tell God what I have done. God will tell me. God will tell me. Go and report me to God. So I started doing it. I said, okay, he said I should report him. So when he does, I'll go and report him. If I tell you what God used to tell me, you won't believe it. I remember one day like that, me and my husband were having a conversation. And we were just gisting of, well, that is the life of the kind of pastor that he is. Then I had not really entered into pastoring, so probably I didn't really understand what was going on. So we were just gisting, talking. He now went into the bathroom. By the time he came out, his face became straight. I said, you will never believe that me and this man were having a conversation. The way the face just, I'm like, what? Is it something I say? Is it me? Is it? What happened now? This conversation that I'm just trying to enjoy, we will not finish this conversation. What is this thing now? So, that was how his face was until he left and went to the office. And I went into I went back to the room and I knelt down. And I said, God, I think he said I should be reporting him. What is this face now? We were just gisting. And the face just changed. You know what God told me that day? He said, I may not put it exactly the way he said it, but in summary, he said, forget this matter and focus on me. Does it make sense? Say, ignore this thing. This is not important. Focus on me. I say, God, I should focus on you. I said, I should leave this thing now that is a problem. He said, yes. Look at me. So you know what I did? I made that thing become nothing. And the next time I say, Lord, all I want is you. Please, I'm focusing on you. Give me you, more of you. That changed. When he came back, there's no how he will come back and I will come up with an attitude. I feel for anybody that is not hearing the voice of God, you must begin to hear God's voice. It is something you need before marriage. It is something you need so that you can even know who to marry. It is something you will need in marriage. The voice of God will never lead you astray. Because you know what? A lot of voices speak to us in our marriage. The question is, who am I listening to? Am I listening to God? Am I listening to myself? Am I listening to the devil? One or the other is speaking to you per time. In the place of your emotions is very important. When you have emotions that are up and down everywhere, it will affect you. Whether you're a man or a woman, it will affect you in marriage. You cannot have an emotion that is like this and you expect something good to come out. Please always remember, I told you I was fiery tempered, hot tempered, angry person, and that was how my parents were. My brothers, all of us grew up like that. So when you see people that are hot-tempered, angry, yes, maybe it's where they were coming from. But what I am saying is that you can change. You can become a better person. You can say bye-bye to hot temper. You can, some people when they are angry, they can pick up anything and use it on someone. I know that there are people like that. I know that there are people that can say all sorts of things with their mouth that they will regret. I don't know how to say stupid idiot, so I've never abused. I don't abuse. You can never hear abuse. Even at that time in my life, you will never hear me abuse. But please, even using abusive words, don't even use it. In our vow for our weddings, at a point we normally say, both the man and the woman will say at different points, I will never call you stupid. I will never call you stupid. Because some of us, these words have become what? Commonized. We use it in our marriages. I was one person, assumptions. So like that day that he squeezed his face, I just started assuming every time I'll meet him, maybe if something like that happens, that in our early marriage, I'll be like, why did I do something wrong? And every time you tell me, stop, you didn't do anything wrong. You know what? At that point in time, I did not know what had happened. It's later, maybe when he starts explaining. Sometimes, even when my husband switches like that, at that point in time, God may just be speaking to him and he's just hearing different things. But it will take only a sensitive woman to know that this man has just switched. He is no longer in this realm with you. He is communicating. But when he does that, because you are not sensitive, you are not growing in the spirit, you'll be there fighting back physically when it has nothing to do with you. There are just two areas I will cover. How things broke down in my marriage. First thing that happened in my marriage was my husband used to be very loving, used to be very, everywhere. He will go out, he will talk about me, he will do this, he will do. After a while, when I kept doing all these little different things I called small, at some point, he just started changing. He stopped being that usual loving person. Not that he was doing anything bad to me, but when someone just begins to withdraw, you just notice the person is withdrawing from you. The light, there used to be this light in his eyes. Anytime, he sees me or he's talking about me, it's as if the light went off. There was now just no more light. But one thing I noticed was that he started to withdraw. So he will rarely say a word to me except it is necessary. And most times when you ask him, he will say it's because I don't want us to argue. Because if I say this thing now, you will misinterpret what I'm saying and it will become a problem. So in order to avoid an argument, a quarrel, let me not talk. And these things, I don't know if anybody has experienced anything like this in their marriage, but like God said, today is about restoration. Today is about healing. When the person begins to act differently, it's not like the person is going out to cheat. It's just that the person has lost, should I say lost interest? And another thing that started happening was that instead of us to be bonding, instead of us to be growing, instead of us to be building intimacy as young couples will, instead what started happening was that we started growing apart. We just started growing apart. These things did not happen overnight. It took years. We just started growing apart. We started to endure our relationship. We were not enjoying it anymore. We come out, we smile. Everybody sees us smiling. But when we get home, we know that there's nothing to smile about. And one day, well, for me, the biggest one was when I just kept seeing my husband become who he is not. So if I want to start talking, he starts to raise defensive mechanisms. He will raise his voice. And I'm like, what have I turned this man into? And that was the point that I cried. I begged God. I pleaded with God. I knew that God had given me a good thing, but I was using my own hands to destroy it. If there was one prayer I prayed as a young girl, 16 years old, I told God I wanted peace in my home. I wanted peace in my marriage. I wanted a man that would give me peace. I fasted for it. I sowed seeds towards it. God brought it, and I was the one using my own hands to destroy it. Meaning that what I was praying for and I wanted, I was not. We can be praying for things that we are not. We can be praying and thanking God, give me this, give me this. The question is, have you become that thing that you are asking for? So it was at that point I wept. I fasted. What I saw in order for my marriage to be restored. And why I'm saying this is just in case anybody is in that place, whether it is you or your spouse that is giving the issues in your relationship or in your marriage, and it's as if we have gotten to the end of the road and we don't think we can come out of it anymore. I want to assure you that there is still hope. With God, nothing shall be impossible. No matter how bad is, good can still come out of it. I know how much I prayed, and I want to encourage someone. You can make that prayer. You can just make up your mind. I started doing practical things. I went to Google even to find out how to manage your emotion. If you are angry, what can you do? I'm telling you, steps to take when you are. I was reading, I was checking scripture, I was praying, I was doing everything at the same time. And thank God for my husband. My husband was encouraging me. He will also try to help me. He will also tell me what to do. How did things begin to change for me? That is what I'm telling you. The things I did. I just began to pray more. And you see, the journey of the change for me was a little bit difficult because my husband found it difficult to believe that I had changed. Because that was not the first time I was saying, I'm not going to be like this again. I'm changing. So for every time I wanted to do something, he would always look at me from that point of view. She has started. And every time I would try to make him understand, no, I'm not going this way. I'm not going this way. I want to speak to a spouse. You are not the problem. It is your partner that is the problem. Don't give up on her. Don't give up on him. Thank God my husband did not give up on me. He could have said, I've had enough of enough. Let me move on. After all, did I come to suffer? And I would have lived with so much regret. Because if there is anything I know God gave me a good man. So please, I want to speak to someone today. I may not be here for everybody, but I know there is one person. Don't abandon him right now. Don't abandon her. And even if he or she never wanted to change, I want to believe that after today, the person will be intentional about changing.
So guys, I'm going to react to this video using 5 points. Number 1, childhood and parenting. What really touched me here is how she explained that children are watching everything. Many parents don't realize that what looks like small arguments can become deep emotional pattern in a child's future marriage. She says something very important. Parents are model. Whether we like it or not, children often reproduce what they saw, not what they were told. Secondly, anger and emotional patterns. This part is very honest. She didn't excuse her behavior. She took responsibility. A lot of people say, that is how I grew up, or that is just my personality. She made it clear background explains behavior, but it should not excuse it. Change begins when someone stops defending their weaknesses and starts confronting it. Number 3, marriage reality. This part is painful but necessary. She talked about how her actions slowly changed her husband, how love began to withdraw, how communication reduced, and how silence replaced closeness. Many marriages don't collapse suddenly, they fade slowly. This message is a strong reminder that the people who love us most should not suffer the worst version of us. Number 4, change and responsibility. What encouraged me the most is that she didn't just pray, she also took practical steps. She learned emotional control, listened to feedback, asked questions, and become intentional. This shows us that prayer and responsibility must work together. Real transformation takes humility and consistency. Number 5, hope for marriages. If you are watching this and thinking your relationship is too broken, this message says otherwise. Change is possible, healing is possible, growth is also possible, but it starts with self-examination, not with blame. Finally, this message is not just for married people, it's for parents, singles, and anyone preparing for the future. We must ask ourselves, am I becoming the kind of person I am praying for? Thank you so much for watching. If this message spoke to you, please like, share, and leave a respectful comment below. Thank you so much once again, and I will see you in the next one.